What's popping, everyone? You like that new intro change? Let's go. I am your host. Welcome to the Fleaflicker NFL Show. I'm your host, Areeb, Umar, and I'm joined by my co-host, Amal Ronak. What's up, Amal?
What's up, Areeb? How you doing, man?
Nothing much. Do you like how I changed up the intro a little bit?
Yeah,
I wanted to spice
I
things
like
up a
that.
little
Yeah,
bit.
I like it.
um, Today, we're just gonna do our final mock draft. So, I guess for me, it'll be version 3.0. For you, it would be version 2.0.
Yeah.
And honestly, first, do you want to talk about the Gronk trade a little bit before we jump into anything, or just make it straight into the mock draft?
No, we can talk about that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of current NFL rumors. I think we talked about in our last episode. We were talking about potential draft rumors that are currently ongoing with different types of players that could get traded in the draft or picks that can get swapped between teams. So currently the Patriots just traded their rights for Rob Gronkowski because he's currently retired, and they still are paying him at the moment. And they traded Rob Gronkowski and I believe a 7th-round pick for a 4th-round
Yep,
pick.
for a 4th-round pick.
Yes,
Correct.
And I believe Gronk's gonna come out of retirement and he'll play next season completely with the Buccaneers.
From my understanding, it was he said he wanted to play football again, but he said he only wanted to play with Brady, and so New England was just like, "Sure, we'll trade you."
Yeah, it's not official necessarily that Gronk's coming out of retirement, but
I think it
now
is, dude. Is it not?
I think right now it's. I mean, here's the
Because
thing,
he
right?
passed a physical, right? So obviously he's
He
thinking.
did pass the. He did pass the physical. Yeah, that's true. But he never officially said that he'd come out though, did he? Because he said he would only come out if he played for the Buccaneers. But I mean,
I'm assuming he's playing for the
I'm a,
Buccaneers if he just
I'm
got
a,
traded up.
yeah. I'm assuming he'd play, but I'm just saying I don't know when he's gonna play because he's not in game shape at all. He's gonna be like Jason Witten last year if he plays immediately.
I
I
don't
would
know, man. He's been in the WWE. I'm thinking he's Gronk. I mean, he passed his physical, which means he's in decent enough shape, and also
yeah, because
he's
the
like a
physical
specimen.
they don't look at smoking weed in the physicals.
Fair enough.
And
Fair enough.
the Gronk he has his own weed company, I believe. But yeah.
Good old Gronk. That's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a fun offense for Tampa Bay with
Yeah,
you got
Brady being
the
reunited.
GOAT, Tom Brady.
Yeah. And one of the GOATs of tight ends, Rob Gronkowski.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's killing it. I hope the best for them because I mean they're not in my conference, so.
I feel bad for Julian Edelman, man.
Oh yeah, now I mean that's gonna be what we'll. I guess we could talk. We're gonna talk about that. I'm assuming later on in the show
Yep, when we get to this mock draft. If you want, we can hop into it right now.
Yeah, we can hop into it. Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so first overall pick, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Bengals. Their biggest needs are, I think, linebacker is a bigger need than quarterback because I think the difference between Joe Burrow and Andy Dalton is less than the difference between whatever bums they have starting at linebacker and, a potential good guy like Kenneth Murray or Patrick Queen. I think offensive tackle is probably a pretty decent need as well. But obviously, they're not going to go anywhere there with the first overall pick. Joe Burrow is our locked-in first overall pick. Anything else you got to say about that? Because
I agree with you. I think linebacker is more of a need than quarterback, and I also believe offensive tackle is also more of a need than quarterback for the Bengals right now because they have neither of those two. And Andy Dalton is good enough, but the problem is there's not a good enough linebacker, insane linebacker.
Yeah, Isaiah Simmons. I think he's a good linebacker, but I think he's more of a jack of all trades, but not like a master of none. Like he's not like amazing at everything he plays. He's just like good at everything he does, and he does a lot.
I mean, he still has superstar potential. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think you can't pass up on Burrow. That's all I gotta say. I mean, even there's good offensive tackles too. Like Tristan Wirfs is there, Jedrick Willis is there. There's a lot of good offensive tackles. Even in our first mock draft, we had a bunch of offensive tackles going in the first 10 picks. So there's a lot of good offensive tackle value there. But I think Joe Burrow is the main man. He's highly touted prospect coming into the league, and I think he's the pick here.
Yep. Moving on to my division rivals, the Washington Redskins. Do you think they dabble in Tua at all?
All right, I have not a chance they dabble in Tua. So I think here their needs. Here's the thing with the Redskins. They kind of I don't know about Haskins. I genuinely don't know about Haskins because I mean yes it's too like early to call per se, but I mean I don't know. I don't trust Haskins. But that's
think
just me.
I mean, I got to watch him near the end of the season when he played the Eagles. And yes, like our secondary is straight garbage, but he impressed me. I think the entire season he was thrust in way too early and he didn't really like he was a guy I wanted to, sit for like a year, maybe just let him, marinate behind, whoever's starting back there and get, just, pull a Patrick Mahomes. But he was thrust in way too early because he wanted to save his job, the former coach Jay Gruden. And honestly, he improved throughout the entire season for me. So like I don't know if he's ever going to be a stud top 10 quarterback, anything like that, but he improved enough to where I feel confident that we don't have a complete mess as of right now at quarterback.
Yeah, I don't see them picking Tua, and if I were them, I also wouldn't pick Tua. I think if I were them, I'd solidify this pick and take Chase Young, the edge from Ohio State. But they do have other needs. Obviously, I think their needs they have is a defensive end, a wide receiver, a tight end, and an offensive line. Because they're just lost. They're going to at least lose Trent Williams. I'd assume he'll get dealt in the draft too.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that.
I think if I were Washington right now, I would definitely trade Trent Williams now than ever. I think this is the perfect time to trade him. I think.
I mean, he's not going to play for you, so
exactly.
You better trade him.
I think some teams to look out for the Trent Williams sweepstakes. I think you need to look out for Buccaneers. I can see OJ Howard getting dealt to Washington. That would be a great fit.
Ooh, that's actually interesting. See, this is why I like having you on the podcast because you give me like creative trade ideas that I just don't have the brain power to think of myself.
Yeah, that means. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different teams that I think that Williams could easily fit into, but I think yeah.
Now, when I look here, right, when I look at the Washington Redskins like team needs, right, like I did a deep dive. I haven't posted it to YouTube or anything yet or my podcast, but I looked at them and when I see their offensive line, they have Brandon Scherf there. I think they have Morgan Moses, and then after that, their tackle situation is just like not good. Like they don't really have much back there. And I'd argue tackle is a way bigger need than edge. Because if you look in recent drafts, right, they've gotten Jonathan Allen from Alabama. They have Daron Payne. They have Montez Sweat. They still have Ryan Kerrigan. They have Matt Ioannidis, all those guys. So I'd argue that offensive lineman might be a bigger need than edge.
I agree.
But the difference in – I think Chase Young is like a generational prospect. And by adding him to that rotation, you're pulling a 49ers to the point where, like, doesn't matter who gets hurt. You're going to have, like, an elite, like, Pro Bowler backing them up. So I think it's a really good blueprint they're building by, going all in with defensive line.
Yeah, I think Chase Young's probably around the same league as in the recent years, like Myles Garrett or a Jadeveon Clowney or a
Joey Bosa
or a Joey or Nick Bosa. They were all highly
touted.
Yeah, and I think Chase Young fits the boat there. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said in the previous pick for the Bengals, there's a lot of good offensive linemen here, and I think wide receiver is a need, and I could see them trading up maybe in the late round to acquire a wide receiver. But I think this pick, at least for their first pick, I definitely see Chase Young with this pick, and I don't see any other option actually.
Yep. So moving on to Detroit Lions, we obviously think they need a corner. They dealt away, Darius Slay to my Philadelphia Eagles. They lost another safety to Quadre Driggs to a really weird trade, in my opinion, to the Seattle Seahawks midseason. Their secondary is sort of hurting. I think I think Jeff Okudah is probably the best corner in this draft class. Him and CJ Henderson are right up there. Your thoughts?
So I think Detroit, their biggest needs right now are an edge rusher, a corner, and honestly, this is way too early, but I think running back's also a need. I think here Jeff Okudah is the right pick, but I think they should also consider trading down, or even try to convince the Redskins and try to swap so they can get Chase Young. That's also
I
not a
think
bad.
that's their dream scenario because they have Trey Flowers. He's like a solid guy. They got him 2 off seasons ago or 1 off season ago from the Patriots. I think bringing in
Their dream option would probably be that the Redskins trade down, so they don't trade at all. But I think, yeah.
I think if someone traded up for a quarterback with the Redskins, it would be perfect because Chase Young would drop to them. They wouldn't even have to move, and
And
it
then
would
they're
be
set.
great. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, the last elite pass rusher they had was Ziggy Ansah, probably like 2016, I want to say. And man was a beast until he got injured. But ever since that, their pass rush has been non-existent,
They have
similar to
Trey
their running game
Flowers.
as well.
They got Trey Flowers. He's okay.
Yeah, but he's not prime Ziggy Ansah, at least in my opinion.
I
But
agree.
I think we both have Jeff Okudah here, right?
Yes, I agree. I think, and not assuming any trades happen, I think Jeff Okudah is the pick here. Also, here for the Lions, if I were them, I'd trade down here.
I think this is where the draft is going to be made, in my opinion. Like whatever the Detroit Lions decide to do, that's what's going to shape the draft board for 10 picks, 15 picks down the line.
Yeah, because I think the Dolphins should consider trading up, or the Chargers, or any of the QB needing teams. I think
Las Vegas.
that pick is interesting. The third pick. But yeah, I think assuming no trades at all, I think since they just lost Darius Slay, Jeff Okudah is the right pick.
Yeah. So we're on to the second division rival. The NFC East tends to be pretty bad. We have the New York Giants here. And when you're looking at their needs, I obviously think offensive line. I think linebacker. I think probably pass rusher. They lost Olivier Vernon. They lost JPP, I believe. And I think wide receiver is also a pretty big need when I'm thinking about it. They haven't really they have Darius Slayton. They have Sterling Shepard. I mean, Darius Slayton has pretty big upside in my opinion. I liked what I saw from him. He burned the Eagles a couple of times. Your thoughts, Amal?
So I think here for the Giants, I think offensive line is the right move. I mean, I think I'm not gonna say right move. That's their biggest need, I think. Offensive tackle. I think Nate Solder was like completely he was so bad last year. He allowed like 11 sacks. I mean, very scary. I think they need to fix that immediately to protect their franchise quarterback and Daniel Jones. So I think you could pick an offensive tackle here early, and I think Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa is a good pick here. But I think it's either between him or Isaiah Simmons. And Isaiah Simmons is also very talented, and we talked about him earlier, saying he could be another superstar player. So, I mean, I'm okay with either of those picks.
I've heard all the rumors that the Giants are completely full in on trading down. That's what I've heard.
Yes. And I've also heard another rumor that they've looked into Herbert.
I don't think you can. I mean, with someone with a nickname
Right?
as cool as Danny Dimes, you can't be off on him in one season. I mean, he's Danny Dimes.
Exactly. I don't understand why. I think that they're trying to – that's the definition of smokescreen there, because I think they're trying to scare the Dolphins that they'll pick Herbert or Tua, and that would potentially scare the Dolphins and be like, oh, crap, I think we need to trade up here. But I think it's all BS. I think the Giants will never pick a quarterback here. And if they did, Gettleman should get fired on the spot.
I think a Gettleman pick would definitely be an offensive lineman here, even though Isaiah Simmons.
Offensive lineman's a need, bro. That's too big of a need. And I think Isaiah Simmons isn't the best player. I think he might be the best player available too. I'm not gonna lie. I
Who's
think
not a non-quarterback, I think, yeah.
who's non-quarterback. Yeah, he's the best player on the board. Yeah, either him, Derek Brown's also good too, but they don't need DT. I think, yeah, Isaiah Simmons or offensive tackle. I think Mekhi Becton's a good pick here too. Tristan Wirfs is a good pick here. Isaiah Simmons is a good pick here. Jedrick Wills is a good pick here. Any of the offensive linemen, I mean, yeah, they're all, in my opinion, along the same boat. But
Okay.
yeah.
Meeny, miny, mo. No.
Pick either pick.
Okay. Honestly, all these offensive linemen are like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D for me. So I'm just going to pick the guy I like the most, Jedrick Wills. I think he's the most stable guy. And we'll move on from there. You good with that?
Yeah, that's fine with me, man. So you're basically saying offensive line here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think even if it's not Jedrick Willis, I think offensive lineman is more sensible of a pick, I should say. But, I mean, you are passing up on Isaiah Simmons. You just have to remember that. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Miami.
Yeah. Miami, right.
I think they should go Tua Tagovailoa just because even with the health concerns, I think what you're getting with a quarterback from him is way more of a sure thing than someone like Justin Herbert and Jordan Love. And I think his ceiling is also pretty high as well. Obviously, the injury concerns are really like pretty real with him. I was listening to some things about him, and like it was a lot of like medical stuff, and I'm sort of interested in that because I want to end up being a doctor eventually. But it was like a lot of like the hip is like really badly like vascularized, like it's hard to get blood there, and so people are thinking they want to like get their hands on him and see, oh, is he actually getting blood to his hips, stuff like that. And it's still medical stuff that flies right over my head, but that obviously sounds pretty bad for him. And the more we've heard about it, the closer we get. We're 2 days out from the draft right now. The closer we get to it, the more it seems that they might end up going Justin Herbert or Jordan Love. So your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think the risk for Tua Tagovailoa is the major hip, and I think re-injuring that hip or re-injuring anything in general, because he has had a lot of injuries, like the ankle injury that he had at Alabama.
He's had a hand injury as well.
Hand injuries, yeah. But I think who they will go with here is Justin Herbert, because he is the safer pick in the aspect of at least that he's going to play healthy right now. You don't know that with Tua. Tua could potentially sit out next year. You don't know because, I mean, you never know with these guys and their medical reports. So, and they do claim that he's completely healthy, but I mean, it's too much of a. It's like a cloud. It's too cloudy. I don't know the information. So I think if I were the Dolphins, I would take Tua here, take a gamble, and if it doesn't pay out, hey, you got Trevor Lawrence next year. But I think, I think they will pick Justin Herbert, but I think Tua's
the better player, a significantly better player.
He's
than
significantly,
Herbert.
Yeah, I agree. He's significantly a better player, but I think they will pick Justin Herbert. But I'd want them to pick Tua, but I think they'll pick Herbert. That's my.
In my opinion, the fact that we're using the Draft Network for this draft, by the way, so shout out to them for allowing us to have a free software to do all this. The fact that they have him ranked as 4th on their predictive board is ludicrous to me. He's like not even like a top 10 player. But again, besides the point. You want to go Tua here, correct?
Or
Herbert?
Are we going based off of realism, or are we going to go based off of what we want? Because if we're the GM, if we're the GM, then Tua's the right pick. Yeah, then we can do Tua. Yeah, because I think it would make sense because Tua would be the right pick. But if in real life, I think Herbert will be the pick.
Yep. So going on to the worst LA team here, we have the Chargers. Their jerseys, by the way, are fire. They released them, I think, yesterday or today.
That's fire. Absolutely.
That powder blue it's very good.
But they might not be the worst LA team for long, dude. You never know.
Shout out to the Sean McVay hype train that completely hit a brick wall.
Dude, he's given people so many jobs, dude. He should get like an ongoing royalty for that. Not gonna lie.
You're not wrong, man. I mean, think about it. He's Packers.
I mean, Matt LaFleur's not bad.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur isn't bad at all. But you look at someone like Cliff Kingsbury, like
Oh, he's
he
like,
had like
oh,
some weird, like obscure way that he knew Sean McVay, and that's how he got the job.
yeah, I, but he had a losing record and he got a job. That's what I still don't understand. That's like that's like a first for me. I don't understand that
And
at all.
I don't get me wrong, I think he's going to be a solid NFL coach, but I
Yeah,
think it's funny.
yeah, it doesn't make sense. I mean, hey, good for him, but yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. So the Chargers here with the sixth pick.
QB is a
They're
huge need, I think.
QB and
Um,
offensive tackle are their major needs here. Here the fit here. I think they'll go with Tua here. I think
in real
that's
life.
in real life. I think Tua here would be the pick because I mean it's low, and their aspect it would be low risk because because it's like they already have Tyrod, and Tyrod's fine I guess for now. But
Tyrod has such a low, he has like a low floor and a low ceiling. Like, I don't
yeah,
really like.
yeah. So I mean he'll always be solid. Like you can always put him in at any time. But I think here Tua I think would be the pick in real life, but I think Justin Herbert would go here. Another possibility is an offensive tackle, so best offensive tackle available.
Do you think they potentially dabble in drafting someone like Jordan Love? Because I think Love has a higher ceiling than Herbert. And from what I saw, I haven't watched much film on these guys, but from the film analysis that I watched, Herbert hasn't really improved. And for me, that's really like shocking. He's like played like 4 or 3 years, whatever it is. He's a senior. He hasn't really improved much as a quarterback. So, and you can, I think we made this argument when we recorded yesterday that he might have even like fallen off a bit, which is sort of worrisome for me. So, would you dabble in selecting a guy like Jordan Love here from Utah State, or go full in on Justin Herbert?
For Try Turner. So those are the two major needs that they have, and I don't know. I think here offensive tackle, it's a good pick, but I mean you're passing up on Herbert, and I don't know if maybe they can trade up later in the draft for Jordan Love, but I mean I I think like the Giants did last year. If you believe he's your guy, you should take him now rather than waiting on quarterback later.
Yep, I 100% agree with that. So, going to a team like the Panthers, their biggest needs, I think, D lineman's a pretty big need. Linebacker, they lost Luke Kuechly. Corner, they just lost James Bradbury to the New York Giants. I mean, I think wide receiver might also be a need for them. They have GJ Moore, they have Curtis Samuel, but Curtis Samuel has been kind of hurt recently, and they don't really have anyone outside of that. So, your thoughts on that?
Uh, yeah, I agree with you. Wide receiver is a potential need, but I don't see them picking one because I think they solved that with the Robbie Anderson addition, right? Uh, I think they do need to find a new cornerback though because they did just lose James Bradbury. Uh, I think here Isaiah Simmons would be a good pick here at linebacker because I think they lost one of the best linebackers of all time in Luke Kuechly, and because of retirement, and I think cornerback would have been the perfect fit here, but they don't have a cornerback that's warranted for that pick. So yeah, I think linebacker here would be a good pick, and I think Isaiah Simmons would do that justice. And or the other option here, you could also go is defensive tackle Derek Brown out of Auburn. But
I think Derek Brown is arguably, I think he's better than Isaiah Simmons. I think Isaiah
you can
Simmons
make
is
that
better
argument.
than CJ Henderson, though. So, and just by looking at like the need hierarchy, I think Isaiah Simmons is definitely the pick here.
Yes, that yeah, based off need, yeah, I agree. I don't think D lineman is it's not a major need, and I think linebacker is a major need since they just lost the superstar on that position.
Yeah. We'll move on to the Cardinals now. Arizona. Obviously they have a huge need right now at offensive tackle. I
Number
think
one need. Number one need.
Yeah, I think it's such a big need. We don't even really need to talk about like edge or linebacker or even
Yeah,
potentially wide receiver.
there are three. No, no, no. I
Mhm.
mean, Kingsbury. Knowing Kingsbury though, he's probably gonna push for it. But if I were the GM, the obvious pick here, you have two amazing receivers in Fitzgerald and uh, and DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know how I blanked out. But I think offensive tackle here is a good pick. I think Tristan Wirfs here makes sense. Um, yeah, that would be a good pick here. And if you were to go edge, which would be really, I don't know, no, you shouldn't even consider edge. You shouldn't consider cornerback because there's too many good tackles to pass up on. So offensive tackle here.
Do you think the Cardinals trade back? Because I think they potentially might.
I think they could trade up, dude, because they have Christian Kirk. I've heard rumors that Christian Kirk could get traded.
Ooh, interesting. I actually like Christian Kirk coming out of Texas A&M. I think it was 2018. He's more of a slot guy, but he's an interesting guy.
Yeah. But trading down, I don't know. They could. The reason I think they could trade down is because there's a lot of good offensive tackles in this draft. I think they'll get a good offensive tackle even at like 14 or 15.
Yeah, I think a good guy could definitely fall to them. Potentially, like depending if you think about real life, right? I think someone trades up, like someone like Las Vegas trades up for Jordan Love, right? Probably in the top,
Yeah,
probably in the top 15 picks. So
15 picks. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
if that happens, you're going to have a flow of wide receivers, tackles. Those guys are going to be pushed down the board. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. I think yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Trading back's not a bad option here. I like that. I like what you brought up. I think trading back here would be a good idea because I think the offensive tackle you pick here at 8 won't be that much better for your team than an offensive tackle you potentially pick at like 14, 15. Because there's going to be some good offensive linemen there. Like Mekhi Becton could potentially be there. Jedrick Willis we picked here, but he could potentially be there. Uh, yeah, lots of different options here. Andrew Thomas is a good option here. Yeah,
I've heard the name of Ezra Cleveland floating around as a potential target for the Browns as a trade down target. So he's another tackle to look at as well from Boise State.
yeah, that's also a good player. Yeah, trade down. I like that. I think trade down here makes sense. And if they were to trade down, because this mock draft's obviously predicated on no trades at this moment, offensive tackle here. So your call on the offensive tackle. I have Tristan Wirfs, but doesn't matter.
I have him as well. So
Yeah.
Tristan Wirfs from Iowa. Moving on
Great.
to the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Minshew Mania team. Um, I could see them going a lot of directions here. And honestly, I don't think they're a trade down candidate just because they have 2 picks in the top 20. So I don't think trading down would be like a thing they need to potentially do because a guy they might be high on might even fall all the way down to 20. But
Yeah,
if you're
I
looking
think
at a team like Jacksonville,
here.
they
Yeah, go for it.
now you guys fine.
All right. So the thing is here, their biggest needs here are defensive line because Ngakwe is definitely gone. He's gone. I don't know if you saw the Twitter beef that he
Oh,
had
he's
with.
one. I saw him with Shad
He's
Khan's
gone.
son.
He's
He's
1 foot out the door already. Yeah, he's gone. He's long gone. I think at this point he's dead cap. He's not going to play a game. I can promise you he's not going to play a
he
game.
has 2 feet out, man. He doesn't even have like half a foot left in the building. He's
Good
completely
point. Yeah.
dipping.
Yeah. No, he's out. Yeah, he's 100% out. I mean, he's been kind of disrespectful too, to be fair, in the
Oh,
way he's handling it.
100%.
I don't know if I'd handle it that way. Jalen Ramsey also didn't handle it the right way, but I think this is on another level in my opinion. But I mean, you're
I,
beefing straight up with the owner, bro. That's like
yeah, with
owner.
the
That's
owner's
like
son, like,
yeah, owner's son. Yeah, this is not needed. I mean, hey, Eagles really like him. He really likes the Eagles. Jacksonville is asking for too much for each team. But
oh,
I
he's
think,
tanking his trade value down, and I love it if I'm trading for him.
yeah,
You could maybe get him for like a second or maybe even less than that now. Like
yeah,
Jacksonville has no leverage.
yeah, he's just dead cap. I mean, it's simple as that. Right now, he's dead cap. He's not going to play. You're just paying him a franchise tag with nothing, no value.
They lost
So,
Calais Campbell as well. They traded him away to the Ravens.
So the biggest needs here, they lost Boye and they lost Jalen Ramsey in the last year's season, and they're about to lose Ngakoue. So Derek Brown is still on the board. Javon Kinlaw is on the board. CJ
Henderson
is on the board. Wide receiver, because I heard Marquise Lee just got cut.
I think they're a wide receiver target for sure.
Wide receiver potential here. If I were them here, though, I think Derek Brown.
In my opinion, Derek Brown is the best player left on the board. So I
And
think
it's
he's
their
arguably
biggest
better than Tristan Wirfs, probably better than Simmons, definitely better than Herbert. So you're getting arguably, like, I watched film on him. I think I said this last time we talked about him. He looks like Fletcher Cox to me, the way he's getting triple team, double team, like, consistently. I don't think he's going to get a ton of sacks in the league, but he's definitely going to be like a space eater. Like, you don't have to worry. He's a guy you're going to have to game plan around, and that's important when you literally have no pass rush left.
Yeah. Yeah,
so Derek Brown there. Cleveland, they are also a trade down candidate as of the rumors that we heard for Ezra Cleveland. They might trade down for Cleveland to Cleveland. When I look at them, I think offensive tackle is, for me, the biggest need, even though they signed, I'm forgetting his name again, from Tennessee, Jack Conklin. They signed him. I think it's still a really big need for them. Your thoughts?
Offensive tackle, yeah, I agree. I think here the pick I have is Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle out of Georgia. I think they can't go wrong there with that pick. But Mekhi Becton's also good. Yeah, I mean,
Georgia has had some really good offensive linemen recently, so I think Andrew Thomas is a pretty solid pick no matter what.
Yeah, I think offensive lineman's a very good pick here, and I'd be happy if I were Cleveland with that pick. I wouldn't be completely happy. Linebackers also a need, but I think they can survive for now. They can wait for that the second round. But yeah, I like it.
New York Jets. When you're looking at the New York Jets, right? I think offensive lineman. I think wide receiver. I think the fact is, I don't really know a single edge rusher on their team, which is not a promising sign when it comes to pass rush. Your thoughts on that?
I agree with that. I think here for the Jets, I think they need to find a new target. They need a wide receiver one.
They lost Robbie Anderson to the Panthers in free agency.
That's their only receiver they have. Let's be realistic. That's their only receiver.
They have Quincy Enunwa, and he's hurt all the time.
That's the only receiver they have. Generational wide receiver here is there for Judy or Lamb. I like Lamb here at 11. And if I were the
I like Lamb as well.
I would take Lamb here. And yeah, no need to trade down, no need to trade up. Stick with 11. I guarantee you Lamb or Judy will be there at 11. So, yeah.
Oh, 100%. I don't think a wide receiver goes in the top 10.
I would be, I don't know. I think Jacksonville.
I think wide receiver could go to Jacksonville, but before Jacksonville, no one else.
Yeah, before Jacksonville, not a chance in hell is that happening. And I don't think, unless Cliff Kingsbury's stupid and he picks a wide receiver, like CeeDee Lamb. But yeah, I think wide receiver here, CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma.
Okay, and now we're going to go to the newly named Las Vegas Raiders. I've been saying the Oakland Raiders for the longest time. It's going to be hard to switch out, but
their stadium's going to be
I'll try to make an effort. Their stadium looks so nice. It's kind of fire.
Lit. Here I have wide receiver here. Their biggest needs here are receiver and corner. I don't know if you agree with that. They just, they lost Gary and Conley already, but they initially had Eli Apple, but it fell apart. I think Jerry Jeudy here is the right pick here. I don't think CJ Henderson, you should pick him this early.
Yeah. Do you think CJ Henderson is a worse player than Jerry Jeudy? Because I think they're like pretty comparable. I could see them going either way here.
They're pretty close. I think you could go with either pick here. I think Las Vegas Raiders should. That's tough. I think they'll take Jerry Jeudy though.
I think so
That's
too. I think there's going to be a run on
that's
wide
like an
receiver.
Amari Cooper 2.0, dude. You got another Alabama receiver. Now you have you're giving Derek Carr, your quarterback at quarterback, some targets with Jerry Jeudy. I like it. Giving some progression. Tyrell Williams is their wide receiver one right now.
Yep, they got they have that slot receiver Hunter Renfro. They
He's
have
nice.
the tight end. Hunter Renfro is like an underrated slot wide receiver.
Right now, they're actually no, my bad. Their wide receiver one's really their tight end, Darren Waller. Yeah, he's a monster. But yeah, I think Jerry Jeudy and Darren Waller. That's going to be interesting. That offense is going to be really good. And Josh Jacobs at running back. I like it. Let's go Vegas.
You're going. Okay, so we're going to go to another. Well, not another Bay Area team because they left, but the last remaining Bay Area team. We have the 49ers here.
I've heard a report they can trade down.
I've heard they're going to trade down for potentially. They're going to try to trade down for both picks potentially. So that'll be interesting to say. I'm really excited for this draft. Yes,
I am too. So if I were the Niners here, I'm assuming when they made the trade with the Colts, for DeForest Buckner in exchange for the 13th pick, I assumed they were going to take receiver here, and that is their biggest need here, receiver. They just lost Emmanuel Sanders. I think, that's a big need here. Another big need here, though, is offensive tackle. That's quite a big need because Joe Staley is 36. I think they need to find someone to replace, kind of like the Eagles did with
I was just going to say, Andre Dillard and Jason Peters, similar to that.
And if I were them, I'd take the best offensive tackle on the board, which is Mekhi Becton, I believe we have now, right? Yeah, Mekhi
Becton. Honestly, I think offensive line, I haven't really thought about this, but when I had Henry Ruggs slated this entire time, but when I'm looking at it, I think you can get like a generational wide receiver like every year almost. And in such a deep class, they have the pick 31. They could easily trade back from that. So I think I like the Mekhi Becton pick more because you need to go draft that future tackle. Yeah, I like this Mekhi Becton pick.
Because here's the thing. I think Mekhi Becton is a steal at 13. That's really good.
Oh, I think at any other draft he would be like the best tackle or like second best, but here we have him fourth. And honestly, it's just based on whatever the teams rank him as. Like we have like a pretty. It's like our ranking is so different.
Yeah, most teams, I'm pretty sure our offensive tackle ranking is probably not as accurate as other teams' offensive tackle ranking. I mean, I think the top two receivers are at least accurate on every team. But I think here,
I like this. We're changing it up a little bit.
I do think receiver is their biggest need. I don't know if it's even their biggest need because, I mean, offensive tackle is a big need. They're both.
Joe Staley could retire any day. Like, he could retire like tomorrow.
He's 36, bro. He turns 36 in August. Yeah, that's kind of scary. And he has 2 years on his contract left.
That's scary. Honestly, if you look at a quarterback like Jimmy G, who, he's torn his ACL before. He had a concussion back in New England or some sort of upper body injury as well, I believe. You want to keep him safe. So I like this Mekhi Becton pick. So,
but they're already a Super Bowl contending team. In my opinion, they're still the favorites to come out of the NFC. I think so. Trading back's not a bad option here. I'm not gonna lie. So
when you look at what smart teams do, if you look at a team in Seattle, like Seattle, they've traded back from every first round pick they've had for the last, I think, since 2012. And also when you look if you look how smart teams are built, they tend to go offensive line and defensive line early. And I think John Lynch is a smart GM. And I think Mekhi Becton here is a really nice pick.
Yeah, I like Mekhi Becton here. That's a steal. I like it.
Now, if I'm the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm steaming right now because you wanted an offensive tackle. You're not getting him anymore. I think when you're looking at them, though, I think running back is a pretty big need for them. But you're not going a running back this early. You're definitely not going a running back this early. I think my number one running back is Jonathan Taylor. I don't think he's worth it this high.
Here you can consider Josh Jones out of
Josh
Houston.
Jones, Ezra Cleveland from tackle. I think those are reaches though. And when you have a guy like CJ Henderson on the board, their former first-round pick, Vernon Hargreaves I think he was from Florida as well. He pretty much busted. He's no longer on the team. You need a corner. I
Yeah,
haven't really thought about corner for this team.
I've never thought about corner either because, that's a good point. Yeah. The thing is, they need an offensive lineman, bro. Tom Brady, needs an offensive line. That offensive line is dead.
I think they're a trade back candidate. If this is how it goes in real life and all the tackles are gone, which we don't think they will. I think someone's going to end up trading for Jordan Love.
And if they trade back, then I think they'll trade back to a team like Atlanta.
A team like Philly, potentially. Atlanta's a good trade down because Atlanta's in all these trade-up rumors recently.
Yeah, Atlanta's trying to get CJ Henderson, dude. They're gunning at CJ Henderson. They really want.
You have to if you're them.
And they need him. They really need him. So I think Atlanta. I mean, in our current mock draft, you could even fall to them. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe so we're obviously not assuming any trades here. So I'm between offensive tackle.
Josh Jones, Ezra Cleveland.
I like Josh Jones too.
I like Josh Jones as well. So they need an offensive lineman. Even if it's a slight reach here, you need one for Tom Brady.
You need it.
He's not the type of guy who can, extend plays. He's 44 years old, running on 73, but he's a guy you need to have a stable pocket for. I like Josh Jones here. And if you're the Denver Broncos, you are overjoyed right now that you're getting Henry Ruggs, top 3 wide receiver. He's falling for you. Do I even need to ask you about this pick?
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous that we have him that low. I think here if I were them, they're in a dream situation because they have him and Henderson on the board. That's even more insane.
Yeah, they could go either way, 100%.
They do have a need for an offensive tackle because Garrett Bowles has been garbage, but I think they can do that later. I think Ruggs is the obvious pick here.
Yeah, they need speed. They have that big power. They have the power already with Cortland Sutton. They need some more slash and dash. Henry Ruggs brings that for sure.
Yeah, and then Atlanta gets their dream pick.
CJ Henderson.
Yeah, and I think no debate at all for that pick for CJ Henderson with Atlanta. I think they were even considering to trade up for that pick because I could easily see him in our mock draft we were talking about now. I think a bunch of times CJ Henderson was in the conversation. Yeah, I really like it because they just lost Desmond Trufant.
I think Javon Kinlaw. See, before all the rumors that they're trading up for CJ Henderson, because that's what the rumors are, right? It's for CJ Henderson.
Yeah.
I was really in on Javon Kinlaw, actually. I think he's he's a beast of a man, honestly. And I didn't know if you read it, if you heard what his interview was. And they were like, "Oh, what do you do when you're what's your best move?" He was like, "Oh, I push people away. I push people around." And they were like, "Oh, what do you do if that doesn't work?" And he was like, "I push them around." He's that big, man. He's 300 pounds, 6'6", and he can push people around. It's fun.
Yeah, I think CJ Henderson's the pick here, but I mean they also do need an edge.
I think they just need defensive linemen help in general.
Yeah. They can't.
I don't think Caleb Von Chason fits with them though.
Yeah, I agree. I think here CJ Henderson's the best fit. I like it. If I were the GM, I'd take. And if I were the GM, I would even consider trading up because you never know, man. You don't want to take the risk of losing out on him because he's very talented. I think him and Okudah, the gap's very small, so I don't even see that big of a gap.
Oh, I think some things people might knock CJ Henderson on is he'll make a play and then he's really quiet about it. He doesn't have that swagger that other corners have. And some people are actually knocking him for that. I honestly don't care that much. If you're making plays, you're making plays. I don't care. And obviously he has some sort of swagger. If he's consistently making plays, he's confident in himself. He's just not loud, and some people knock him on that. But I don't think it's a big talking point. Anyway, moving to
next pick, my least favorite team. in the
Yeah.
NFL. So, Dallas Cowboys. So
I think Caleb on Chase on here.
Levon Chasen's a good pick here. The other
Or
option here,
someone, you
the other
two Gross
option
Matos.
here, I have also Jeff Gladney out of TCU because they're pissed right now that CJ Henderson didn't fall to them. They're very pissed that they did not get
Oh
him.
yeah, for sure. They're definitely looking at Christian
And
Fulton, Jeff Gladney, whatever it is.
I think I don't know because here's the thing: they need a corner. They just lost one of the best corners in the NFL, and Byron Jones. They might even take Gladney here. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. But they do need an edge, and I think they don't need an edge, but it's a great complementary edge with D-Law. So,
I think they lost Robert Quinn. They lost.
did.
Who's the guy who like smoked a ton of weed and he got cut? I'm forgetting his name, but we all know who I'm talking about. They drafted Taco Charlton. He was a massive bust. He's not even on the team anymore. I think Caleb on Chason, though he might not fit, I think he might be slightly better. Yetur Gross Matos to me is really interesting because I think he fits more of a 4-3.
Kind of early, though.
What
Kind of slightly early.
I agree. I think I don't know. Whatever you want to go here, I'm fine with anything.
That's tough. I like Gladney. That's the thing. Because they need a corner, but they also that complimentary edge is there though. I like. Let's go Chase on. I like Chase on. I think Lawrence would be happy with Chase on too. I like Chase on.
Oh, you'd probably be beaming.
Yeah, let's go Chase on.
So we're here, Miami Dolphins. They're second of 3 picks. And when you think about it, when you go 18, 19, 20, these are teams with multiple picks in the first round. So yeah.
So
we're
back
at
to the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, we had the first pick being Tua Tagovailoa. I think they need an offensive lineman here, and they also need a running back because
They have Jordan Howard back there, man. I don't know if they need a running back as much as like what the media might be saying.
That's a good point. Well, I mean, they also need a safety too because Rashad Jones just left.
Did he just leave? I thought he's still on the team. Is he not?
Oh, I thought he left.
But he's definitely like older. He's been declining. He's like 32 now. I honestly think safety is the pick here, and I really like Grant Delpit.
Yeah, he's not returning. He's a free agent there right now.
I really like Grant Delpit out of LSU.
I like Xavier McKinney out of Alabama. Bama or LSU here, huh? Also, they can't go wrong with offensive tackle here either. So
I think offensive tackle is a slight reach here. What do you think about potentially drafting a wide receiver here to pair up with Devontae Parker and your rookie QB?
Reach. Second round's there, bro.
Too
many. Yo, bro, Mims and Jefferson and Higgins are still on the freaking board, bro. That's insane.
They could definitely go one of those guys, though, for sure. But I think
it's at 9. It's at 18. You don't need that yet.
At 26, they could definitely get someone, though.
At 26, you'll get at least Mims. I think Mims, one of those 3 will definitely be there at 26. And if not one of those 3, they're still stacked with receivers. We talked about it the other day. There's so many good receivers in this draft class. I think receivers could happen much later in this draft. And I do agree, offensive lineman is a bit of a reach here. That's a good point. Xavier McKinney or Grant Delpit, I'm okay with either or. I like Grant Delpit. I like Xavier McKinney, but you like Grant Delpit.
We will go with your pick here. I think Grant Delpit probably fits a little bit more, but they both do pretty similar things. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either one. So Xavier McKinney it is here.
The thing is with McKinney is that he plays all levels on the back end of the defense.
I think he plays all levels. Okay, when I look at I'm looking at a pure free safety. Grant Delpit's better of a free safety than Xavier McKinney. He's way more instinctual. He's better. He has like that range that Xavier McKinney doesn't have. But when you're looking at like tackling, when you're looking at causing forced fumbles, Xavier McKinney is more of that guy. So honestly, you can't go wrong with either one here. So we'll just go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We pick Xavier McKinney. Moving on.
All right, cool. Next pick we have here.
Jordan Love.
Raiders. again, Bears are stupid. That's basically the lesson here, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. Raiders.
Jordan Love.
QB.
Jordan Love.
I don't know, man. I like Derek Carr. You loved Derek Carr. Loved, past tense, past tense. You loved Derek Carr.
Well, I really liked him until he, he had 2 back-to-back season-ending injuries, and he hasn't been the same since that. So
well,
I think I have a pass to jump off the bandwagon, in my opinion.
they have a corner. They need a corner, bro.
I agree. I think wide receiver is the pick here for me, or corner.
They already picked a receiver though.
Yeah, they picked the wide receiver already. They did pick Jerry Jeudy on our mock draft. I think Christian Fulton's the best corner remaining on the board. You like Jeff Gladney. Honestly, you can't go wrong with.
I prefer Gladney out of between the two, but I think I think they go corner here, considering like I talked about before, Eli Apple, that deal fell through. So
I'll go Fulton here because you chose McKinney last time. Pretty much doesn't really matter.
That's fine.
They're
I'm fine with
close to each other.
Yeah, I'm fine with either one.
Okay,
Jags.
I think Justin Jefferson here.
The thing is with the Jags, they need a corner. Oh wait, is Kinlaw picked yet?
Javon Kinlaw is not picked yet. They did. Who did they pick first? They picked Derek Brown first.
Oh yeah, but we have Derek Brown. That's a good point. If we pick Derek Brown, here I take a corner here because they need to replace Jalen Ramsey.
Jeff Gladney. I think it'd be interesting if they did go Kinlaw. They could literally just stack up that defensive line for years to come.
Yeah,
it would be really cool.
I forgot about that. We picked Derek Brown. That's why I said Kinlaw. But yeah, I forgot we picked Derek Brown. That's a steal for where the Jacksonville Jaguars are picking for Derek Brown. I think they go corner to replace Jalen Ramsey and AJ Boyett.
I would normally go wide receiver, and if Justin Jefferson, if this was a normal class, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, whatever it might be, I think they go there. But the fact is, like we talked about, there's literally 15 wide receivers that can go in the top 100 picks, maybe even more than that. And you could definitely get it later. So I think Jeff Gladney is the best corner left on the board. You go there.
Your favorite team?
Yep.
All right. So we'll talk about first what if I were the GM. So if I were the GM, I'd trade up here, no doubt.
Oh, 100%. I would trade up and try to get CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, whichever one falls. Also, I forgot to mention when we were talking about Jerry Jeudy, some people have him off their board because he had some sort of injury. I'm forgetting what the injury is, but they've completely taken him off their boards. So it'd be interesting to see if Jerry Jeudy potentially drops outside the top 15 and a team like Philly or Minnesota trades up for him.
That would be nuts, by the way. That would be absolutely nuts. And Eagles fans would be jumping up and down if they got Jerry Jeudy. No doubt. No doubt.
Up and down.
I think if they got CeeDee Lamb, it'd be the same amount of excitement. I don't think it'll be any more, any less. Same amount of excitement. I think if they got Jerry Jeudy, that would be nuts. Henry Ruggs would also be nuts. Here, the Eagles, I think they go receiver here. I think the best fit here for the Eagles is Denzel Mims.
Ooh, you're hopping on that. See, I was Denzel Mims last time, but now I'm on team T. Higgins because
you're on Higgins bandwagon, but I'm going off fit. I don't know. I like the fit with Denzel Mims. I think it's a neat fit. I like it. The other option here is
Justin Jefferson, obviously.
Kenneth Murray, linebacker. Edge, they also need an edge. That's also not a bad option here. But if you're going by receivers, I think Higgins is not bad, Jefferson's not bad, and Mims is not bad. I like Mims here because of the fit. I like the fit that Denzel Mims has. But yeah, it doesn't matter for me. I think Higgins is a better receiver than Mims. I think Jefferson is slightly better. I think Jefferson is slightly better than Mims too. But I'm going based off just fit. It's a team that I like Denzel Mims here. But I'm okay with Higgins or Jefferson here.
I forgot what I was gonna say, but T. Higgins, I really like his fit with this team. I think he's a physical guy. He has more than enough speed to be an elite player at the professional level. We talked about it yesterday. I talked about it again today. I really like T. Higgins with this team, and I think people are underrating him because he didn't run like a blazing fast 40 time. But what I do think is betting it right now, if I'm putting money, I think Philadelphia 100% trades up or trades down. I don't think they stay at 21.
Oh, you don't think they trade? You don't think they stay at all?
I don't think they stay at all in real life. So, like, I'm going to pick T. Higgins here because I really like T.
So
Higgins.
if Philly's on the
But
board at 21, you're saying they trade down?
I think either they're not going to be on the board at 21 at all because someone's going to fall and they're going to try to get them, or they're going to trade down because all their guys are gone.
All right, interesting. So, okay, so then can we go then T. Higgins then? We'll go with T. Higgins then.
Yeah, T. Higgins
Assuming,
here.
and now Minnesota here is also.
I think Minnesota might trade up for a guy like Justin Jefferson. I've heard they really like him.
They do really like him. I actually had T. Higgins to Minnesota. I'm not gonna lie. I think here then I'm cool with Justin Jefferson here. Although
I think Justin Jefferson fills that sort of Stephon Diggs role. Like, I feel like they're pretty similar players. They have more than enough speed to be good at whatever they're doing. Solid route running, pretty good hands. They have like an underrated jump ball almost. Like, Stephon Diggs could go up and catch the ball if he needed to. Justin Jefferson could do the same thing. I think you're just getting a Stephon Diggs 2.0 here with Justin Jefferson.
All right, cool. I'm cool with Justin Jefferson here too. I like it. Here, my
Jordan Love
used to be my least favorite team. Now it's not. Now they're not. I'm cool with them for now. So here I think the best fit here. They need a QB, they need a receiver, and they need a tight end because they just lost Gronk. I think here the best fit is Jordan Love, quarterback out of Utah State, and another potential fit would be AJ Epineza.
Epineza from Iowa.
Epineza. Yeah, that's also not a bad fit. But yeah, Jordan Love at 23, I like the pick. I don't think he's gonna fall that low, and if he does, it's a steal. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain about that much because
literally,
when you look at it, they need a QB. I don't think they're high on who did they draft last year? Jarrett Stidham. The one game he played, they benched Tom Brady to give him a rest because they were blowing out the other team. He came in, threw like a pick six the first pass. Brady was back on the field, like literally, like he jumped off the. Belichick was like, "You're getting back up there." I don't know if they have faith in Stidham, and honestly, you can't go wrong by drafting a good quarterback with a huge upside in Jordan Love.
Agreed. Yeah. I think. Could you see New England trading up for Jordan Love?
I think if they're trading up, they're trading for Justin Herbert, dude. Unless Jordan Love falls down like low.
What do you consider low? Like 18?
Outside the top 15.
I could see him going outside the top 15. I say top 20. But the thing is,
that would be interesting.
The thing is, right? Because they're what pick? They're 23.
23. Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I don't know. We'll see. But right now in this current mock draft, yeah, I think if Jordan Love falls to them, perfect situation.
Yeah. We can look at the New Orleans Saints here. What I'm looking at, they need linebackers, a pretty big need. Cornerback's a pretty big need. A quarterback is a pretty big
quarterback. Yeah.
I think they could end up going Jalen Hurts later, like in the second round, early third, whatever it might be. They might trade up for him.
Agreed.
I like Jalen Hurts for this team a lot. Just the way they've used someone like Taysom Hill. I think literally Jalen Hurts is that, and I think he's a better thrower of the football than Taysom Hill.
Agreed, but I don't think they need to pick him first round.
Oh, for sure. I think they go linebacker here, potentially someone like Kenneth Murray, Patrick Queen.
I think corner is another need here. I think a guy you need to look at here is Jalen Johnson out of Utah.
Jalen Johnson, I've heard a lot of good things about him. I've heard about A.J. Terrell as well out of Clemson.
Jalen Johnson's a good pick. I like him. A.J. Terrell's also a good pick. He's also a good pick. I'm cool with A.J. Terrell too. I like A.J. Terrell. Actually, yeah. Screw that. We'll go A.J. Terrell.
A.J. Terrell here. They need a corner outside of Marshon Lattimore, and A.J. Terrell is arguably the best corner left on the board. So No qualms here. Now,
Yeah.
when I'm looking at a team like Minnesota here, I am literally whatever the equivalent of running your pickup is in a Zoom call. I'm doing whatever that is with Javon Kinlaw right here. They lost Lavelle and Joseph this offseason. Everson Griffin is gone. They've lost some defensive line help. And Javon Kinlaw being here is honestly a crime. I don't think he's going to be here on the real draft. Your thoughts?
Dude, I still think they need corner. Here, Jalen Johnson's a good pick here. I don't know, man.
I want to see. Okay, honestly, I can't
Defensive line,
debate that either.
defensive line. If I were the GM, defensive line's not a major need. If I were Minnesota, come on, look at Minnesota's D line and tell me if they really need a need for interior defensive line.
Yeah, but they've lost players. They've lost Linval Joseph. They've lost Everson Griffin. They still have Danielle Hunter, and he's good. But you're that once like formidable pass rush is no longer the same. And I think Javon Kinlaw is 100% the best player left on the board.
He's the best player on the board, no doubt. But I don't know. They don't have corners, dude. They don't. They have Mike Hughes, Ben
Former
Gedeon.
first-round pick.
Mike Gedeon. Do you know
Okay.
either? Do you know who?
Yeah, we're going corner. We're going corner.
Eric Wilson, Holton Hill.
Do you like Jalen Johnson here then?
Yeah, Jalen Johnson here. And the thing is, Kinlaw is the best player on the board, no doubt. But
I think Kinlaw is better than T. Higgins, better than Jeff Gladney, better than Fallen. I think he's probably better than Henry Ruggs as well.
Kinlaw could arguably go top 10. That's why I'm saying this. We're having him really low. He could arguably go top 10. I'm being dead serious. He could go.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Where we have the Jacksonville Jaguars with their first pick, if Derek Brown went earlier, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars at 9 could pick Kinlaw.
Oh, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, if Derek Brown didn't fall to them, I think they would have picked Kinlaw. So I think Kinlaw is a crime here for being that low. But I think it just so happens that's how it is. Oh, well. We really screwed up.
When you look at a team like Miami, wide receiver, running back, offensive tackle, maybe even Javon Kinlaw, even though they drafted Christian Wilkins out of Clemson last year. Your thoughts on that? Where do you think they go?
Miami here. What needs? Let's see. They have, I think, offensive tackles a need for them. And I think running back, you keep on saying that they have Jordan Howard, so no need to. I also don't think running back first round makes sense. I think either. I think Kinlaw. They just picked last year though another a guy though, didn't they?
Yeah, Christian Wilkins out of Clemson, and he's a pretty good guy as well.
I think offensive tackle here is a good pick here. They need an offensive lineman.
I think if you're looking at a team like Miami that's talent deprived though, you're going best player available, and Javon Kinlaw is the best player available. I just want to look up what their defensive tackle situation looks like real quick before I do anything like that. But just looking at best player available, you're picking fifth overall.
Well,
you're not a good team.
They have Shaq Lawson and Christian Wilkins, and they have Taco Charlton, and they have Emmanuel Ogbah.
So those are all solid guys. I think Kinlaw could definitely be better than all of them. But when you're filling a need, I guess, I don't know. If I'm the GM of the Dolphins, I'm going best player available. But if you're trying to fill a need, then tackle is probably the better place to go.
Yeah, I agree. I think I mean, I don't know. It's a crime to have him this low. That's the
when I'm when you're looking at their defensive tackles though, you got someone called Zach Seiler, no clue who that is. Derval Curez Neto, no clue who that is. Devon Godshaw, no clue who that is. Emmanuel Ogbah, Avery Moss. He has some good ends, but I don't know. You want to go Ezra Cleveland here?
Yeah, man. I think Ezra Cleveland's good, dude. They have the need. That's a need, bro. That's what I'm saying. All right, now you can finally pick Kinlaw. I think here's the pick.
Yeah, I think Seattle needs some pass rush. They could go edge here as well, but Kinlaw is a guy, you can pair him with Jaron Reed, and you're just not going to have any problems.
The Seahawks are now back into scary times, and that's going to give the defense that's going to give the offense some fear. I think
juice up that defense a little bit.
Yeah, another good pick here though would be Yetur Gross-Matos out of Penn State.
Oh, for sure. I think Yetur Gross-Matos might be like one of the most underrated players in this draft class. I think he's a really good pass rusher.
Yep. And now if I were the Ravens, I'd be pissed that Kinlaw just went.
I would think Kenneth Murray here. Maybe I don't really know. When I'm looking here, maybe you could go someone like Yetur Gross-Matos. You need wide receiver too, which Denzel Mims here would be like amazing. But
the thing
I
is,
don't.
they need a guard though, don't they?
Yeah, they need a
They
guard as
lost.
well. And Cesar
They need
Ruiz is on the board here. Interior
Cesar
offensive lineman.
Ruiz. I think
You
John
Lloyd
Simpson.
Cushenberry.
John Simpson out of Clemson's a good pick here. Zach Bond is a good pick here, linebacker out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, he's a good edge guy.
That's tough.
I think Cesar Ruiz is probably the best interior lineman left on the board. And you lost a future Hall of Famer in Yonda.
What second round pick does the Ravens have?
Let me look that up real quick. I don't know what their second round pick is off the top of my head. I'm assuming it's around here, like late second round.
If it's late second round, then they should go. Interior offensive line then.
Cesar Ruiz.
Yeah, it's too big of a
Michigan.
risk. It's too big of a risk. That's the thing. Because I mean, yeah, you'd want to find the right guy for replacing Marshall Yanda.
Yeah.
Marshall Yanda's a beast, by the way. That guy is amazing.
Oh, Hall of Famer. He's an arguable Hall of Famer. I think it's really hard for guards to make it in.
Probably top 5 greatest offensive guards of all time. Unstoppable. Great offensive guard.
So looking at the Titans now, I think they could go. I really like Zach Bond here because Zach Bond is more of a 3-4 outside linebacker, and they run that 3-4 outside line. They run a 3-4 down there in Tennessee. Your thoughts on that?
I like that. I like Zach Bond here. I'm also cool with Yetur here as well because they are in need of a edge because you don't know. They are in the Clowney cheap sweepstakes though, so I'm not sure. Also, corner is not a bad pick here. Trevon Diggs out of Alabama, not a bad pick here either. And
Yeah.
that's not a bad place to pick him either. Trevon Diggs.
Honestly, yeah, I would not mind Trevon Diggs here at all. I think just because you're a first round pick, you want to probably spend it on a more important position than I think Yetur Gross-Matos, Zach Bond, those guys are less of a risk. Honestly, they're probably mad that Javon Kinlaw left because they lost Jaron Reed, not Javon Curse or whatever his name was. He was a really good.
All right, even though we have Kinlaw this low, I'll be that he won't go past.
He won't fall, yeah, for sure.
He won't go past.
It's a travesty he's down here, to be honest. And honestly, you could blame that on us, but I think it's just the way we have the board going.
Yeah, I think it's just the way we have it going. Yeah, I think he's a top 10 player for sure in this draft. I think it'd be stupid if he fell this low. But yeah, I think Gross-Matos. I'm cool with him. I don't know who you're cool with here though.
No, I like him as well. Now, talking about the Packers, Denzel Mims, can we lock that in? Like, do we even have to talk about it?
Oh, yeah, let me see here. The Packers, they need a receiver.
Bad. They're desperate in need of a wide. Their best wide receiver right now, I think, is Allen Lazard, and he's not that good.
I think here Mims is the best. I think Mims or Jefferson here. But we already
Jefferson is gone to the first Minnesota pick.
Yeah, done. Lock it in. Yeah. The other option is offensive tackle, but they can wait. I like it.
Yeah. Finishing up the first round here, we did have the 49ers going with a tackle to begin with.
Once again, I expect them to trade down.
I think they might trade down from this pick.
I think 100% this pick they won't pick. I'm like almost 100% sure they won't pick this pick.
What do you think about Brandon Ayuk right now to the 49ers though?
Ooh, I like that. I think that's the move because they already picked an offensive tackle, right? We already have them picking an offensive tackle.
Yep, we had them picking Mekhi Becton, I believe, and I think Ayuk is the best wide receiver left on my board. I think he's the best on your board as well.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, I like Ayuk here.
I think he's a guy who could potentially go in the first round. I think he's going to be like a trade down candidate for a team like the Eagles or maybe a team like the 49ers end up snagging here. honestly, I don't think I think he's gone by like the first 10 picks of the second round. So it's not really a reach here to pick him.
Agreed.
Brennan Ayuk, block it in here.
Yep.
And
Go
then
for it.
finishing it off with
The Kansas.
the Chiefs. I
So
think someone like
I've heard a lot of rumors here that if Ruggs falls, they're picking him up, no doubt, and they will trade up, do whatever it takes to get Ruggs.
yeah, I've heard that as well. I think that might be an interesting move to make. You're gonna have to trade a ton because you're literally the last pick of the first round to
Yeah.
move up.
Not a very
Maybe somewhere like 18.
Yeah. I can't see Ruggs falling that low. The Eagles are going to trade up for Ruggs. Then the heck, yeah, that'd be stupid. If he fell past 15, Eagles would trade up for him probably before more people would be interested in the Eagles pick than the Chiefs pick.
Yeah, it's a higher pick. So
it's a higher pick, and I know Eagles would trade up for Ruggs if he fell past 15, no doubt.
100%. And like I said, I think they definitely make a move. Now, anyway, talking about the Chiefs here, honestly, it's kind of sad that we have Grant Delpit here. I think Grant Delpit could definitely go literally to any of these teams. He could end up going to a team like the Cowboys, a team like the Dolphins, any team, maybe even a team like the Raiders.
I have Kenneth Murray here. This pick.
Okay, Kenneth Murray. Do you think they replace Reuben Foster, the really bad character concerns of him with someone like Kenneth Murray? Do you think they go with wide receiver or corner here?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Chiefs can go a bunch of ways here. They can go running back here and pick the first back off the board. And that guy I have is DeAndre Swift out of Georgia. They could do that. And that would be quite shocking. Because here's the thing. They don't have a running back.
And they have Damian Williams. He's good, but I don't know if he's like.
Dude, he wasn't. Dude, I had high hopes for Damian Williams last year. He did not live up to it. I'm sorry, he did not. He did well in the Super Bowl though.
Borderline Super Bowl MVP, but yeah, he didn't play overall well the whole season.
He played overall well, but I had high expectations for him considering last year they had Kareem Hunt, who was OP.
Yeah.
I had high hopes, and their offensive line is like unstoppable. So I mean, and that's why you always criticize Mahomes because of his godly offensive line. But yeah, I think running back here, it's not a bad pick. I also think linebacker here is not a bad pick. I think Kenneth Murray is a good pick here.
I think Kenneth Murray is probably a better player than
Grant Delpit. I agree. Grant Delpit going this late is a travesty, but they have Tyrann Mathieu, so I don't know why they would pick Grant Delpit here.
I think what you could do with Tyrann Mathieu is you could play him maybe solely in the box and a slot corner, and you could rotate him back and forth with Grant Delpit, give you two versatile safeties. That being said, I don't really know much about their safety position. I know there's one guy, he wears like a weird number, like 42, something like that, who played pretty well for them. He stood out to me, at least in the Super Bowl and the playoff games. I think no matter what, Grant Delpit's probably better than him. And if you want DB help, you could definitely, maybe even like cornerback help. You can put Tyrann Mathieu in that in the slot corner position a little bit more, play Grant Delpit there. And you can move – both these guys are heavily movable. Tyrann Mathieu is literally the Swiss Army knife of that defense. Grant Delpit was pretty solid as well.
Yeah, their safeties right now are Tyrann Mathieu, Juan Thornhill, Daniel Sorensen.
That's the guy I was thinking about. He's solid. If you want, you can look up his contract for me real quick. I don't know if it's that great, but if you want to go Grant Delpit here, I could see it potentially happening. Kenneth Murray is probably a better pick here. Any other notable before we head out? Any notable first round picks who might drop here? I'm thinking someone like Ross Blacklock, someone like AJ Epinesa. Maybe a guy we can talk about is Antoine Winfield. I don't think he's going to be our first round pick, but he's definitely one of those guys who's borderline. Ashton Davis, the safety from California, who I really like. Any guys you got like that?
I think you listed them all for me. I think Kenneth Murray, if he does fall out of the first round would be quite shocking in my
Patrick
opinion.
Queen as well.
Patrick Queen as well. Grant Delpit in our current one, that would be insane. But
Do you think they go to Grant Delpit or no?
I can't see them picking safety though. I don't know. I
think linebacker is probably a better fit, to be honest.
That's a better fit. That's my only reason I like Murray here. But Swift is also a good pick here though. I like running back here too. But you're bringing up kind of a good point that Damian Williams is there. But I don't know if Damian Williams long term is the future. I like Swift. I think Swift has he has rookie of the year potential.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's very elusive. I've watched some film on him. He bounces off tackles pretty well, I think, similar to like a Kamara, where he finds just a little bit of a crease.
Who's your number one back? Do you have?
I like Jonathan Taylor, man, from Wisconsin.
Taylor, okay, yeah.
Literally, there was 2 back-to-back seasons where everyone knows that they're running the ball, and he went off for 2,000 yards back-to-back. Like, to me, that just shows amazing production.
He was on Heisman watch the whole season. I love Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, he's been Heisman watch for like the last 2 seasons. He's really good.
He's amazing.
That being said, I think Kenneth Murray is probably the better pick here.
I like Kenneth Murray. All right, go for it. So then, yeah, Swift in the second round. Not bad. I like that.
Yeah, so notable first-round slides. Maybe someone like Jalen Reagor, Antoine Winfield, Grant Delpit, obviously. Patrick Queen, who's a pretty big slide, actually.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to hit on? Any guys you want to talk about?
Look out for Indy. Indy, I think, will trade up if Jordan Love falls past 20.
Ooh, bold take. We got 2 good bold takes. You got one for they're trading up. I think Philly 100% does not pick at 21. By the time, whatever it is, like 10 o'clock p.m. on the 24th.
You think it'll be done at 10 o'clock? Hell,
no. Like their pick would be like around 10 o'clock.
You think that it's gonna be at 10 o'clock? You think Philly's picking at 10 o'clock?
Dude, do you think this draft is gonna be a mess?
Dude, this draft is gonna be a mess. At 10 o'clock, the 24th pick won't happen. I'm saying like 11:30.
11:30.
They're starting at 8. They're starting at 8. Each pick, how much time do they have for each pick? Like 5 minutes?
15. It's 15 for the normal first round.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what it normally is, dude.
Yeah.
15.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. All right, but I'm saying 15 minutes, right? And these teams are going to do trades, and even if they do trades, it's going to go past the 15-minute mark because they already announced that. And you're saying somehow.
Oh, this draft is going to be it's going to be like a crapshoot. It's going to be crazy.
They won't pick at 10. I'll be dead honest to you. I will be texting you probably around 1:30. 2 a.m. I guarantee you the 32nd pick will probably happen.
I mean, I don't know if you're planning on moving, but I want to record a podcast after the first round and just get a short, because I think that would be fun to talk about.
Draft night at the end of the draft, immediate reaction?
Immediate reactions. I don't know if you're I'm really hyped for this draft. This is the draft the draft I'm literally the most hyped for the last 4 years, other than the Carson Wentz draft. Last 4 years.
Fair enough, yeah. Because this is QBs are pretty good. 3 QBs we expect in the first round. We expect a bunch of receivers that are really nice. Bunch of good offensive tackles. We have a bunch of good linebackers. Amazing positions. Corners, also amazing. Lots of amazing talent there. Yeah. One thing I'm missing out on is running back. One of my favorite positions in the game. That's the only thing.
I really like running back as a position, and I think Jonathan Taylor is going to surprise people, man. I will say that for 100%. Wherever he goes, I think he's going to ball out.
You think he's the best back in this class? You think he'll become the best back? Okay. I think it's Swift. You think it's Taylor. We'll see. And I think there will be at least 2 backs that succeed in the NFL in this draft. No doubt.
Yeah. Anything else, man?
No. I can't wait for Thursday. That's for sure. I cannot wait, and we will. I'll make sure that we do this immediate reaction. I won't fall asleep, and I know you definitely won't fall asleep.
Dude, I'm not falling asleep anytime during the NFL draft. I want to get maybe a second day 2 reaction, though. I know less about those guys, but
yeah,
still, I think we can do it.
Yeah, day 2, we'll go over the notable players probably that we know
Yeah.
of that we discussed over. And then we probably won't even discuss day 3. We will probably discuss day 3, but we probably will like very minor.
Day 3 is going to be where all like the wide receivers we looked at are going to go. I think like all like the really late ones.
Gems, yeah, I agree.
Anyway, that's
I
all
have
for
nothing
me.
else to say. Yeah, I have nothing else to add. Go for it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. All that good stuff. Share. It'd really be beneficial if you shared this to people because obviously I'm not doing this for people, but I'm just doing this to talk to my friend about football because I like the game. But if you share, like do all that fun stuff. Honestly, I'm so hyped for this draft. I cannot wait. And that is it for me. So peace out and bye.